This is your directorial, producing, and writing debut, correct?
Yes.
Okay, co-producing.
Yes.
And I did see that your Rebecca Davis has won Emmys and stuff. Are you guys married?
We're brother and sister. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So my sister has this whole history of video journalism. She's been doing short docs for 15 years now. She was one of the producers on the second season of Explained on Netflix, and worked at NBC News for many years. And I have no film background at all, but I kind of come from the world of the subject of the documentary, which is political science and civics.
Okay. So people go and see it. Still give us an overview of what the documentary is about.
So Join or Die is a film about why you should join a club and why the fate of America may depend on it. And what I mean by that is, it's specifically about this social scientist, Robert Putnam, who wrote this book that went viral in the late 90s, early 2000s called Bowling Alone, which was about two very important facts. One, it was about how community, ordinary neighbor-to-neighbor connections, civic groups like the Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, even bowling leagues, is pivotal to our democracy. That we can't have a functioning democracy without a flourishing set of community connections. And two, he found in Bowling Alone that there has been over the last 50 years a decline, probably, by his measure, about half of the amount of community connections and civic groups, hours of civic engagement than we had 50 years ago. And so what that says, if you put those two together, is our democracy is going to be in trouble because our community is in trouble. And if we want our democracy to thrive again, we need to have a revival of community in America.
Okay. If you're not a filmmaker and this is your first one, how long did it take you to get this documentary done?
It took 5 years. So from idea to working on it, we took a couple of years to raise the money for it. We took couple of years shooting it our first interview was right when COVID hit, so we got delayed by a year, and then a year to edit it and add in animations and music and the like, and now we're on the year of touring it around, which is much more it was a lot of sowing over those years, and it's fun to have a year of reaping and seeing people see it and like it and be moved by it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that you guys, I won't mention the festival because we're at Bentonville here, that you won a grand jury prize.
Yep. Yeah, it's been great. I think what's special about going on film festivals is that film festivals are themselves an example of what we're talking about in the film, because the whole message of the film, for the ordinary audience member, it's join a club, but for those who have kind of the entrepreneurial or leadership spark, creative spark, organizing spark, it's start a club, start a civic organization, start something that gets people out of their homes and interacting with their neighbors. And a great example of that are these film societies and cities that run these festivals and the festivals themselves.
Especially Bentonville, because they do include the community so much.
Yep.
And everything's outdoors. A lot of it is outdoors, that they're getting the whole community to come out.
I love it.
It's so funny because it changes my questions to you completely, because I was really taken by your choice of graphics and music. Was that your idea or your sister's?
It was a mix of both of us. We knew that graphics were going to be a big deal for two reasons. One is this is a movie about a lot of data and graphs, and you're not going to make that interesting unless you add a little razzmatazz to it. And so we needed a wonderful animator, Mark Lopez, who could bring life to those graphs. The second reason was this isn't just, part of the movie is about the future of community in America, part of the movie is about the present crisis of community in America, but we really wanted to show people the history of community in America. America has this amazing civic history of clubs and organizations and protest movements and advocacy groups and people getting together to play sports and play music and all these different ways of getting together. And we wanted to bring those photos that we find from a 1910 club or something to life. And so we found an animator, Mark Lopez, who I mentioned, that specializes in kind of bringing photos to life and having that scrapbook of American history effect, which we were really excited by.
It really did keep me entertained. And that was because most documentaries, especially when they have the heavy lifting of here's the stats, here's the data, here's this, that you're like, okay, wake me up when that part's gone. But no, I was like, ooh, that's cool, you know?
Your first order of business beyond anything else in a film is to keep people's attention. If you don't have their attention, nothing you want to get across is going to get across. And so we were really conscious of, and this is where my sister's experience in making films before came in. You know, I was from the academic side, and I always wanted to, you know, do 100 different lines going into all the nuances and, you know, have paragraph of narration. And she always had this great message, which was, this is a movie, not a book. And movies have to have scenes. Movies have to have thrust to them. There has to be tension in every scene. We have to be pushing towards something. We have to think really hard about how can we get this across as compellingly and quickly and swiftly as we can. And that kept the pace going, and, you know, hopefully can hold people's attention for an hour and a half.
Oh, it does. It really does. And what I liked about it is you said, here's the problem, here's a potential solution, and here's people actually putting that solution into practice.
You know, we really wanted to avoid this classic, nothing against documentaries that do this. We love, you know, all documentaries, but you know, we wanted to avoid this classic documentary trope of 95% of the film is problem, doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. And then the last 5% is maybe a slate goes up and says, you know, write your congressperson about this issue. And, you know, the solution is only like a little bit at the end. And we wanted to flip that on its head. And instead of making this movie that's 95%, we're all sad and lonely, we're all divided, we have no community, we wanted to, you know, touch on that, but have it be inside of the main story, which is the joy and the power of the opposite of that, which is joining a club, starting a club, getting together with your neighbors. And we wanted to show kind of real world examples of that for the goal of the audience watching it and saying, oh, wow, you know, I saw what they did with that bike club. I am into biking. Do we have a bike club in my town? Maybe I should start a bike club in my town. Oh, I do remember there was a bike club in my town. I should probably join it. And so we loved giving real world examples of to spark inspiration.
I thought it was funny too, because at the end of the film, I wanted to go join something. I was like,
that's the goal. That's the goal,
okay,
right
let
there.
me go join something. Have you guys gotten picked up for distribution yet?
That is what we're working on now. You know, there's 3 ways we're getting the word out. One is through film festivals like this wonderful Bentonville Film Festival. 2 is we're doing community screenings. So if anyone wants to go to joinorDie.film, you can sign up to screen this with your club. We would be remiss to make a movie about the importance of club life and not let clubs all across America screen the movie about the importance of club life. And then the 3rd is we're trying to get distribution right now, and we have a sales agent working on that.
Well, with all the talk about it and more awards to come, I'm sure, because it's really good.
Oh, really thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
And I think you guys screened last night, didn't you?
Not here. We're just screening today.
Oh, you're screening today?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't say enough good things about this film. Your pacing is good, and that you're not a filmmaker. That's what's driving me nuts.
I think there was a really good tension. You know, I actually recommend to people work on a team. Well, everyone has to work on a team to make a film, but kind of have a duo at the top. You know, all of our years of sibling trust built up, and sibling kind of the way we work together built up. But it allowed for this really, and coming from different worlds. You know, I'm from the civics and activism and writing world, and my sister's from the visual and filmmaking and storytelling world, and having that tension in there. So we did right by the ideas, we did right by our audience, we did right by the groups, and we did right by telling a story. You know, out of all of that tension came the film, and you know, it was a fun process, and we're feeling really good about it.
Now, if it took you 5 years and several years to edit and everything, Mr. Putnam, I think, did an 80-year-old birthday party, right?
He did during the film. Yeah, we got captured in the film. He's 83 now. Yeah,
83. Good. My question was, is he still alive, and is he still fighting the fight?
He's still going strong. He's coming with us to a bunch of different screenings, and he couldn't make it out to Bentonville. We wish he could. He tried. Didn't didn't work with the schedule. But, the Bob that we showed in the film is the real Bob. He is wholeheartedly devoted to this cause of rejuvenating community in America, and he's gonna give all of his energy, continuing his preaching circuit of trying to get people to get connected again.
That's awesome. Any tips for anybody that would go, well, Oddfellows, I saw you talk about Oddfellows and all these interesting groups. What would you suggest to somebody that's, say, in their 50s? What kind of a group should they look to look for?
Yeah, one of the wonderful, we had a couple of quotes from the film that I'm really proud of in showing those tips. So one is, if there's something you love, you can do it together. So think about what you love doing. It'll be even better if you do it together. So that's one thing. The second thing is doing stuff together is a great way to discover what you love. So if there's ever been like, I've always wondered if I should get started in this or get started in that, why not do it together with a club and, go searching for, there's so many hidden gems right around you that you might not know exist because you haven't gone searching for them yet. And, look on Facebook, look on Instagram, simply just Google around, is there a club? Look on meetup.com, which we featured in the film, to see if something's out there. And then there's that, Hillary quote that we liked, which was, you should join, your kids should join. And if there's not an organization you want to join, create one. You'd be we talked to a lot of club leaders while making this film, and we heard the same thing over and over and over again. I felt like maybe there should be a club for this, and I didn't really know, but I decided to email a few people and ask, hey, do you want to get together? And I was so amazed by how interested people were and how much of a breath of fresh air it was for them. And now we're here 11 years later and we're still doing it. And so that little nudge of just get started, reaching, thinking up a way to meet and reaching out is really powerful.